You okay? You want to
No,
take a minute?
no, she's not.
Let's take a minute. Okay. Well, let's let Queenie kind of.
Okay, she's been fine all day, and as
But
soon
that's
as
okay. That's all
she
right. That's
know,
what it goes up and down. So, let's talk about you because you have been amazing and so supportive. I've watched, some of the stuff you guys have been posting and just sharing, and I just admire the fact that as a black man, that's so important to support our sisters, our wives, our mothers, our aunts when they're going through something like this. And so we want to just first commend you for what you've done with your wife and making sure that she feels supported. And talk to me a little bit about that journey and how you've been supportive to her and why that's so important to you. And encourage your brothers too.
well, I don't even look at it as if I had an option, right?
Hmm.
In
Hmm.
my mind, there was never an option about not supporting her, right? There was only the path through what we had to go through. So
Right.
my job was to, be in her corner, be available for her, be a good listener, be a good watcher, and be a good partner to her. I didn't have
Amen.
to do a lot of the heavy lifting in this situation, right? There were certain things that I could be supportive of, right?
Hmm.
And be caring, because this is the nurturer in this family, right? So, I kind of had to step into that role. But the reality was, I saw no other role for me in this but a supportive role. As a husband, she's my friend, she's my best friend, she's my
Oh,
lover, she's my wife, she's everything to me, and I couldn't imagine this family without her. So my thing was just to be there with her and, just to make sure that, she was doing everything she could do, which she was up for. There were a lot of lifestyle changes that
absolutely.
had to take place. There were a lot of things that, just weren't working as they were
I'm sure.
prior to this. So there was a lot of adjustments, physical, mental, emotional. But
Sure.
the one thing that was always solid was the spiritual side. Like Queenie's faith is unbreakable. And so the idea of God being in the room with us was always there, right? The fact that, as a husband, we as men, these situations are very complicated for us because as a husband, my job is to make sure I doing everything and that I can for my family and caring for them in the way that they need me to and do the heavy lifting. That's my job, right? And
Hmm.
in this situation, I'll be honest, most men feel helpless. We feel very
That's
helpless
fair.
because
That's fair.
there's no part of this that we can really do. Like, I'm not a surgeon, I'm not a
Right.
doctor, I'm not in
You're
the
not in
medical
control.
field.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And there was a lot of pain that my wife had to go through, and I couldn't help her in that pain. There was pain so intense that I couldn't hold her. I couldn't
Mm.
hold her hand
Wow.
because it didn't lend any comfort to the pain and suffering she was dealing with in the moment. So I just had to
Mhm.
kind of sit there and just realize that, it's not my job to do that. It's my job to be here if she needs me, but I can't force myself into this situation. I have to let it
Mhm.
be what it's going to be. And so for me, it was just keeping her uplifted, right? Staying positive. You first get this diagnosis, many people believe it's a death sentence. And
Absolutely.
unfortunately, for some people, despite all the hard work and care that's done, unfortunately, they lose this battle. But we
Right.
were never given any information that told us that we couldn't beat this battle. And so that was the words that I had to keep encouraging her. I was like, when
Hmm.
people come in and they get these diagnoses, there's the different stages, and
Absolutely.
right, and then there's that one point where they say, well, there's nothing we can do for this, right?
Right.
But we were never given that by the grace of God. We were always assured that we had room to fight, and as long
Right.
as we had room to fight, we were gonna fight, you know.
Amen.
And,
Amen.
but it wasn't easy for her to fight
Hmm.
these things. You know what I'm saying? Chemotherapy does a job on you.
Hmm.
Um, Chemotherapy screws up the body, and what I mean by that is things that are supposed to work a certain way don't necessarily work a certain way.
Right.
Biggest problem probably was food because she suffered from what's known as metal mouth, where the taste
Um,
buds
It changes.
Or
Yeah.
it changes and it subverts what things taste like. So she can look at a piece of fried chicken, she could eat a piece of fried chicken, but it would not taste
It
like
tastes like it. Yeah.
fried
That
chicken.
happens a lot with a lot of the ladies. Yeah. Very
Absolutely.
common.
But she was like, well, I like fried chicken. I want to eat fried chicken, and maybe I can't taste it, but let's give it a go. So I'd go out
Mhm.
and I try to get her like 4 or 5 different things to eat because we never knew which one would
Gonna stick.
taste.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would taste like, and then that would only work for a day. So I'd give her one of the 5 things, and she'd be like, okay, this one I can kind of taste. It's not that bad, but I couldn't do that the next day,
Hmm.
right?
It
We
was a
couldn't
hit or
eat
it was a hit or miss. Yeah.
every single day. So she'd be like, I want to eat this. So I'd have to get several variations and seeing which one would come through properly,
Sure.
And that some days we got it right, some days we didn't get it right. But in spite
Yeah.
of it, she stayed strong. I don't know if I couldn't taste fried chicken for 6, 7 months, I don't know how I could take that. But she never
Sure.
she never complained. That's what I think was the strongest part of the situation. That she and you could see it. She was suffering. You could see that she was going through things, but she would never complain. She wanted to be there for me. She wanted to be strong for me. She wanted to be strong for our children, for our
Hmm.
grandchildren, our extended family, and everyone that has love and care for Queenie. Now, I tell people all the time, everybody likes Bun B. I'm a very easy guy to like, but everybody loves
Uh, I've
Queenie.
heard that. I mean, I've heard nothing but wonderful things about Queenie, and yeah. Of course, we know about you, Bun B. But yeah, I agree with you. Everybody loves Queenie. We like Bun, but we love Queenie,
And
and
she
so
she's
she's a
easy to love.
yeah. I've had a few
She's very easy to
conversations with
love.
her, and she's just such just a sweet spirit. Very gentle in the brief conversations that we've had, and for us as an organization, we've been around since 1994. We're headquartered proudly in Houston. We have chapters around the country. My mother is the founder and CEO of the organization, and I've kind of passed the baton. I'm not a survivor, but the baton has been passed to me to continue to build on the foundation. She's 83 now, four-time survivor. Um, and over the past 32 years, she's a four-time survivor. And so, we're getting calls from young women who are, under 40 that are being diagnosed. The statistics for us are staggering. We're trying to start to talk to young Black women under 35 to normalize conversation because like you said, early detection, you can beat this, but because they tell the guidelines right now are go at age 40. And for us, as an organization, we're advocating for our women to go earlier because we're getting diagnosed younger, and by the time we go at age 40 we have more advanced numbers, and so we're dying more frequently, unfortunately, because we're getting the advanced cancer. So until those guidelines are changed, we're really advocating for young Black women to go, if they have a family history or they feel something, to go as early as possible, because early detection can save their life. And so, one of the things that we do with the walk, I know you guys have a team there, so please register for Queenie's team and support her. We're raising funds so that we can pay for mammograms for women in the community who may have access issues, or maybe they have to get an ultrasound and they can't afford the next step in screening because of financial situation. And in addition, we also pay for financial assistance to survivors who are actively getting chemo or radiation because we know this kind of thing is in no one's budget. And so we help pay towards their rent or their utility or their mortgage, just to take some of the financial, stress. They already have a lot of stresses on them, and so if we can in any small way help them, that's what our breast cancer assistance program is about, and that's been around since like 2006. So we're really proud of that. We've given over $2 million in financial assistance to women. And while we are Black led and Black focused, for that particular program, it's for any woman who is battling breast cancer or who needs a mammogram. We want to make sure that everyone has access, but particularly our community, because that is the focus of our organization, but it is open to everybody. And when it comes to our support group and our chapters, we do focus on educating our women in the community about breast health. But, you say that it was your responsibility and it was like a no-brainer for you. I hate to share it with you, but a lot of times some men are not like that. And so they, like you said, they either feel helpless, some just, I'm sorry to say, bail. Some just, make the woman feel just not supported at all. And so when I see a brother, particularly like you and a young brother like you, supporting your wife, like, no holds bar, I gotta applaud you. And I just want other men to know, because we do have young women being diagnosed who are young and they're married. They need that support. They need that soft place to land so that they can feel stronger and work hard to get over the hump of the treatments, because like you said, the chemo is difficult, the radiation is hard, and it's life-changing for the entire family.
No, no, without question. And I remember when, Queenie started looking online and not like on websites and everything, but trying to find people going through situations like that she was dealing with. And she would come back and tell me about how these women, like their husbands or their their partners left them. And I can't fathom that. I don't
It,
understand how someone believes that leaving someone in their worst position, right,
right.
in their worst physical state, will do them any good in their future. If a woman finds
Yes.
out a man is willing to leave her in her darkest moment, why would she accept you?
Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying? You're
No,
not
you're
a
right.
dependable.
Yeah.
You're not a dependable person,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think your friends and a lot of people would look at you in a certain way. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You can't call yourself a husband if you're not who you need to be for your wife. And that varies from time to time. It's not always
Mhm.
financial. It's not always provisional. Sometimes it's just being there.
Being
Just,
there.
you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. That
And
exactly. I think sometimes, like I'm glad you brought up that it's not always about the finance. It's about just the presence, just the quiet time, just knowing that that person that you love and depend on is there, just to hear whatever you have to say, or maybe you don't have to say anything at that moment. You just want them, just knowing that they are there is comforting. And so you are very blessed, Queenie, and you
Thank
look amazing.
thank you.
And I'm just really excited for you that you are, moving through your process and finishing up your, continuing to finish up some of your treatment. But, just keep being strong. Sounds like you have a wonderful support network with your sister and Bun and others. And you're very blessed.
no,
Very,
Yeah.
very blessed.
there's a village. There is a village of us. And we all try to, a lot of people told me, hey, man, if you need to go somewhere, if you need to do something or whatever, we'll stand in. I only missed one blood draw. I didn't miss any treatments.
Wow.
She never
It's
walked in that
amazing.
building without me and never walked out without me by the grace of God. And who else should be doing this? If someone's got to take the lead on being there and being supportive, it'll be fun. Being there and being supportive for who else than me? That's what we signed up for when we signed that letter and that license and
Hmm.
made that commitment to be there for each other. And look, marriage isn't perfect. Partnership
Right.
isn't perfect. Neither one of us are perfect, but I believe we make the perfect pair, right? And I think we're in the best position that this family could possibly be because she and I are consistently on the same page when it comes to care,
Mm.
right? There's
Hmm.
nothing that I would want this woman to go through by herself. There's nothing she should go through by herself. And I'm first on that list to stand in line, in the line of defense. That's my job as the man of this house and to be her husband. Yeah, I wish cancer was a physical person because we'd have
Hmm.
been done with this a long time ago, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
that wouldn't have even been a problem. But again, there was just so much that I couldn't do. But the one thing I could do was be there,
Be there.
and I
Yeah.
was committed to that, and I listened to a lot of the pain. She tried to be very kind and not complain about things, but I could tell when she wasn't right. I could tell when she was,
Yeah.
and she could tell you. I used to bother the hell out of him because probably 20 times a day. You all right? You okay? You need something?
Is that what he did, Queenie?
Yes. Sometimes it got on my nerves, but I
But
was
you knew it
like,
was from a place of love, so.
yeah. I was like, could he stop asking me if I'm all right?
Because she's the Queenie. Queenie is a very, I wouldn't say independent, but Queenie has a clear vision of how she wants to move through this world and how she wants to be seen in this world. And so I try not to get in the way of it, but there were just certain things that I couldn't just sit there and act like I didn't care. Right?
Right.
That's the wrong message. So I'd rather her, and we've gone through this marriage a lot. I'd rather her be mad at me because I'm asking her if she's okay so much than
Than to
have
be
her
mad
be
because you're
mad at
not.
me because I'm not asking. And,
Amen.
and, and in the moment in the day, yeah, I know I'm getting on her nerves, but I don't really care because she needs to know she's okay if she needs
Yeah,
anything. She needs to know she's going to be okay if
without a
she needs
doubt.
anything, right? It's not
Yeah.
even a question.
Right,
And
right.
so that was my role. That was my role prior to this, right?
Yeah.
So again, this is not my first time getting on her nerves for sure. But she knows that I love her very, very deeply.
And
And
how long have y'all been married?
we've been married for 24 years, but we literally have been together for 30.
Oh,
So
wow.
I met Queenie the day that I got the first copy of Riding Dirty. And we had to get together, and Queenie came
Uh-huh.
over. I looked
Uh-huh.
at her, I said, that's gonna be
See,
my
that's
woman.
that's her.
That's the one
That's the
right
one.
there.
All
And so
right.
we dated for a while, and then one day she came to the house because Queenie was like, "Look, we can't just be dating. Like you my man now. I need you to understand you're my man now." And I didn't have a good reason to say no, right? So I was like, "Okay," and we've been together literally ever since that day.
And that's beautiful. And how many children do you guys have?
2 children and 6 grandchildren.
Oh, wow. Okay, so y'all got a crew over there. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
But that's a
Well,
support system too,
mm-hmm.
because our oldest grandchild basically moved in
Oh,
and
wow.
just wanted to make sure that she was here so she would cook for her, spend
Mm-hmm.
time with her, just being present. And that's I don't think people understand how important it is for when these people are going through anything, male, woman, black, white, whatever it is, they have those moments. And, thank God that she could look up and see that someone was there, ready to help her, that cared about what she was going through, refused to let her fight this by herself.
Yeah.
And the longer she fought, the more people stepped in, right? It went from
Right.
immediate family to extended family to friends to
Friends. Yeah.
co-workers, all of these type of people. Everybody at some point or another made themselves available, whether
That's
we needed
beautiful.
them or not. So
Yeah.
her
And
village is
that's
strong.
what that's wonderful to have such a strong village, and that helps, the survivor go through, like, move through this in a stronger way, but like I said, there's a lot of people who don't have that blessing. And so when I see this, and I see, your husband, um, taking such an active role. It's just that as an organization, we hear so much of that not happening. I want to encourage and show that's one of the reasons I asked you to do this, because I wanted people to see an example of what needs to be done. Like you said, the good times, the bad times, we got to roll with the person that we love, because like you said, every day is not going to be great. And and if you're down, I'm sure she's there for you, just like, 10 toes down for you, just like you are for her. And that's what marriage and partnership is about.
People
And
don't
it's
understand that this could have been me, right? This could have
hmm
been, and it could, God knows what's in the future, right? So
hmm
it's important that my wife knows that there's no reservation in standing with me when I'm going through it because I stood through what she went through, right?
hmm
And it's not a good thing because Queenie's not the biggest fan of hospitals, right? So it would
yeah,
be
I understand.
and so it would be a lot for her to have to do that with me. But she's already said, if God forbid if something happens, I'm gonna just have to be there with you. You know what I'm saying? In the same way, and I wouldn't ask her for anymore, right? They're
Yeah.
just being present. Every now and then bring me some soup or some water or something like that. But Queen's a great caregiver and an even better nurturer, you know?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so there's no doubt in my mind that should God send me on this type of a journey, that my wife's going to be there in my corner 100%. Unless you
Yeah.
want to take the burgers and run.
No, I'm good.
You're not gonna take a trill burger and run?
No.
And this is important. I think it's important for me to be a part of this conversation as well, because at the same way that Black women are getting these diagnoses, and it's rising and it's growing, so is it with Black men in terms of prostate cancer, right?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
so I've got to do everything to be proactive to make sure that I can be here for this family. And
Just in the black community, we have to make our health a top priority. And like you said, the prostate, and now we're looking at colorectal cancers. The numbers are rising, unfortunately.
stomach.
Um, Stomach, yeah, lymphoma. A lot of the cancer numbers are rising alarmingly, and so we have to advocate for ourselves. If we don't find the right doctor getting the answers we want, we have to feel comfortable enough to go to someone else. That's our right. That's our privilege. I think in our community we've been conditioned to, the doctor said this and I'm stopping here. It's okay. It's not disrespectful. It is your responsibility, quite frankly, to go somewhere else and get that second opinion if you don't feel you've gotten the information or the care that you need and deserve for yourself or your family member. It's no disrespect. It's just making sure that you've done your due diligence.
No, and I think it's important, very critical decision that my wife made a few years ago was to make sure that our PCP was the same color as us.
Mm,
Because unfortunately in the medical field there has been situations where I can, talk about situations where, for kidneys, for example, for many years, white doctors believed that Black people, our physicality, right, and our physiology made us less susceptible to kidney disease, which is far from the truth. So every time a Black person had a kidney issue, they were almost assured by a physician that wasn't their color that they would be fine, that
hmm.
it doesn't affect Black people as much. There's for centuries there's been this notion that Black bodies can take more pain because they've been given more pain. No,
Right.
we have a stronger will. That's why even though we went through pain, we fought through it and we stood up and we did what we needed to do. But I think it's
Yeah.
important, for your primary care physician to be of your color so that they can point you in the right direction. Our primary caregiver um, changed our lives, right?
Wonderful.
She really changed our lives because she was very adamant. I mean, we live in Houston, and
Hmm.
everyone here is MD Anderson, and you should be going to MC Anderson for cancer relief. But there, MD Anderson is
Anderson.
MD Anderson, to be fair, is a highly respected and reputable system, but it's congested because a lot of people want to go there, and so typically the system is set up for them to handle the worst diagnoses from people, like as close to terminal as you could possibly be, and those very rare forms of carcinoma, right? And so
Hmm.
those people will typically be at the front of the line, as they should,
Right.
right? You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? As they should. But she was like, I think you guys should go to the Methodist.
Okay.
I know I've worked with people there. I think it'll be a little easier for you to get in, get seen, and start to get treated. And
Okay.
she was right. She gave us absolutely the best
The
advice we could
best.
have taken in that
Hmm.
system, because we went from diagnosis to treatment within what, 6 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks,
Probably 4 weeks.
probably four
Okay.
weeks. Like
That's pretty fast.
within a month, we had met
Yeah.
the primary
Oncologist.
cardiologist. We've dealt with cardiologists. We've dealt with
The
oncologists,
oncologist. Yeah.
right? We've dealt with radiologists. We've dealt with plastic surgeons in terms of
Hmm.
reconstruction. All of these
Hmm.
things, they were all amazing, amazing.
Wonderful.
Well, Dr. Templeton, Dr. Nair, Dr. Shanak, all of these people. And God bless the people that deal with chemotherapy. Their bedside manners are amazing. and
And
the
they matter.
understanding.
I mean, they can make or break your experience,
Oh,
you know?
absolutely, because this is not the time and the place for a person in the medical a person in the medical physician to be worried about themselves, right? Their whole
Hmm.
thing is to be there for you. They're very going to, because these people deal with this every single day.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll tell you that I will tell you what was the most saddening part of all of this was we saw so many people who had no one of
Isn't that
all
sad? Isn't
ages.
that sad to see
I'm
people
like,
come in
I
there and
know
have
this
a
one.
treatment
I
by
know she's got a
themselves?
sister or a brother or a child or a cousin or a co. There has to be someone in this
But
person's life that could be here for them. But you never know what people are going through and how they're going through it. And to sit
yeah.
there, I remember we went in one day and I left out a little early. She was still finishing. And, she was like, a woman just rang the bell and no one was there,
Oh my gosh.
which tells me that, for
Woo.
one, God bless her,
Mm-hmm.
right, for fighting through and pushing through. But I couldn't imagine having to go through something like that alone. And I
Alone.
refused
Yeah.
to let my wife think that she had to go through something like
Yeah.
this alone. So
That.
there's a lot of things that, a lot of obligations I had to turn down, a lot of work. By the grace of God, we're in a fair enough situation where I was able to
To
do
do
that.
that. Mm-hmm.
And she was insured. And I had literally a month before we got this diagnosis had upgraded our insurance to a higher level. So
Wow. Look at
so
God.
at the absolute best time it kicked in. So, but this will cripple a family's finances. This can
Oh, for
break
sure.
a
This can
family,
break it. This can break a family.
and
Absolutely.
it doesn't have to be even be cancer. Just the
Hmm.
idea of how expensive healthcare can be,
Oh yeah.
right? And having to manage. We hear horror stories about elderly people trying to decide, do they spend money on their medicine or their food and their bills, and no one should go through that. That's why I implore people, even though right now I know it's not easy, I know the rates are not where they should be, but every family should be looking for some type of financial. And to be fair, when we went in, they came in and told us if we needed any type of financial help, they would come in, they would do the best they could to pull
Hmm.
funds to help us. And
Right.
it's just a beautiful thing to know that you don't have to go through this fully alone as
Hmm.
far as treatment and care. It's just the idea of waking up in the morning and going to bed at night and no one's making sure you're okay. No one,
You're okay. Yeah.
there were days where she couldn't get out of bed. There were days where she could barely walk from the bedroom to the living room.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I tell my wife all the time about little stuff, right? Like she'll be getting dressed, right? And she'll be
Hmm.
like, Bun, come zip up my dress in the back. And I'm like, how does a single woman do that? Right? And it's all these different things that every time we always talk about it. Like,
Hmm.
how does a single woman do that? How does a single person do some of these things?
Things
And
that it takes another person to assist them. Yeah.
exactly. And so throughout the full range of it, again, some of it is very superficial stuff, that kind of
I
thing.
understand. Yeah.
But to have to go through something like this where there's levels of uncertainty, right? I think that's the thing. Like they told us, this is treatable, but you're gonna have to fight, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
unfortunately, I've been aware of people who just they get tired of fighting, and that just becomes I believe a lot of that is because they don't have that support system to hold them, to pray for them, pray with
Right.
them,
Hmm.
right? And assure them that no matter what happens, I'm going to be here. It doesn't have
Right.
to be a husband, right? It could be
Right.
anyone.
It could be anyone. But
Yeah,
but
but
you need everybody needs somebody.
absolutely, absolutely. And again,
Everybody.
and
Yeah.
and and, and here's the thing, right? Like there's the intentionality of these situations, right? People want to help. People like, you need me, I'm going to be there. But life doesn't always work that way, right? Our
Hmm.
friends, they have jobs, they have families, they have things they need to do, right? And
Right.
so people wanted to be there and they tried to be there. But at the end of the day, it was a
It's our
certainty
response.
that it
Yeah.
was my responsibility. Now people were ready to stand in the gap if I needed to go and do something, but I wasn't going anywhere.
Right.
Like
I hear you.
I didn't see anywhere else more important that I needed to be than in earshot of her. That was my thing. I
Well,
tried to give her her
look at that
space.
smile on her face. I mean, come on.
I mean, how could
And
you leave a woman like this alone, right?
so, how are you feeling, Queenie, right now?
I'm doing good.
Awesome.
I'm
That's
doing as, you know,
well as to be expected. Yeah.
yeah.
But you're feeling stronger. You're looking great, girl.
Thank you.
No, this is Benjamin Buttons right here, right? Like he's aging backwards. And, I have a great partner, right? I have a great partner in life because I've had things I've had to go through. Not as serious as what she's had to go through, but my
Hmm.
life hasn't always been easy, and my wife never left my side. So when this situation came up, I'm like, I'm taking charge of this. I'm going to make sure that everything she needs, she gets.
Hmm.
Everywhere she needs to go, we'll go together,
Right. Hmm.
and whatever happens in the situation, she's not going to go through it alone.
Well,
She's not going to be
you have
alone.
shown her that. I think she's 100% clear on that. And I'm sure you were over there at Methodist just running stuff.
Oh, I mean, I'm just trying to make sure that she's comfortable, right? That was my
Right.
thing, was
Hmm.
about her being comfortable. And I think it was important that people see how serious I was about how she was being cared for more than
And that's
anything.
a good point because it's important not only just, of course, for the person who's going through a major health crisis, but it's important for the medical community that's treating that person to see that that person has people who are looking and caring and making sure that everything is moving according to plan.
Oh, without question, because you hear so many horror stories, right? About oh God, this phone is
You're
killing
good.
me. But you hear so many horror stories, right? About elderly people and people in hospice and all these type of situations where they're being beaten, they're being abused, they're simply just not being cared for. Everyone that works in a hospital does not have the best bedside manner,
Absolutely.
right? And
Hmm.
everyone is not good at encouraging people. Maybe they haven't been encouraged in that way. You know what I'm saying? But the care that she got from people, I mean, it was really, really amazing. And it takes a lot to be that person because everyone isn't in the same condition that Queenie's in. We go to
Right.
chemotherapy and we see people in all of these rooms and
Used to.
well, we used to go and see this, but
Hmm.
we would see people in a much worse state. I'll just be very,
Absolutely.
very, very honest. You could tell that their stage was further along
Hmm.
and that they were getting weaker and they were getting weaker and weaker, and the more they get, because it takes a lot of strength to stomach having poison put into
Yeah.
your body. Because there's no way around understanding that when
Right.
people have to go through chemotherapy, it's poison.
Yeah.
They're putting poison into your body to kill the
Kill
cancer
the
cells.
cancer cells.
But
Exactly.
but the residual effects of having these things can be painful. Or I know there were days where she was hurting more than she would let on, right?
Hmm.
And she would not want me to worry in those days and in those moments. Like, I'm okay, I'm all right, and I'm like, yeah, okay, you can say that. You're not fooling me, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it, but I'm not going anywhere. You can't fool me. Right. So if I'm like, all right, I'm fine. I'm be okay. Well, cool. Well, I'm gonna go over here and do that. No, we're gonna sit right here, like God said, and be still.
Mm.
We're gonna be still. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And make sure that we're where we need to be. That we're where we need to be when God shows up.
Well, I mean, again, I can't thank you guys enough. I'm really excited to have you guys, at the walk, Queenie at the walk with your family. And, um, I want people to sign up for your team to support you guys. What's the name? I think the name of the team is BBKCB. What does that stand for?
Black beauties kicking cancer butt.
Oh, okay. All right.
Try
I
not to
like
be
it.
vulgar. Good for her. Try not to be vulgar.
Black
Well,
beauties.
we have a lot of fun at Sisters Network Walk. We're line dancing. It's about sisterhood. It's about celebrating survivorship. It's about honoring our survivors. It's about celebrating and the memory of unfortunately women that someone has lost, and people walk in honor, in celebration of those who are currently fighting or have won their battle at this point. And it's all about awareness, making sure that our ladies know that You can survive this. Early detection is important. Getting your mammogram is more important than getting your hair done, than getting your, you know, your luxury bag or whatever. Let's take care of our health first and then get those other things. But we've got to make sure that we're up on all our screenings, like you said, the prostate, the colon when it's appropriate. Of course, breast, you know, the mammograms and ultrasound. And we're here as an organization to make sure that anyone and everyone who needs access has it. I'm proud of the work that we've, you know, it's not easy to sustain a nonprofit for 30 plus years, especially a black one, and be funded
That's
by,
great.
you know, all the different big pharma and different foundations and stuff. So I'm proud of the work that we've done. And that we still have our unique model of survivor run chapters around the country, you know, from Chicago to, of course, here in Houston, you know, Nashville, Detroit, you know, Florida, etc. New York, you know, we're all over the place. And so we have these survivors who run our chapters to be the boots on the ground in those respective cities to make sure that the education and the awareness is being done, to help make sure those ladies know that breast cancer can be survived, but early detection
It's the key.
is the key. It is not a slogan. We tell these ladies over and over. Um, so just please, you know, keep staying strong. And Bun, I applaud you, Queenie. I am so happy for you that you are
Thank you.
moving through your treatment and staying strong and looking fabulous at the same time, and that you have a wonderful mate who loves you and supports you. It is a beautiful thing. And so we have an initiative called Brothers Helping Sisters.
Yes.
That's where we have our men involved to make sure that they understand about the supporting, and that we encourage them and give them the tools, you know, because like you said, sometimes the men feel helpless. They don't know what to do or don't know what to say. So we try to help them understand, you know, what they, you know, help them through that process so that they can be a good mate. Because I don't think some of them don't want to be, well, some of them don't. I'm just gonna be honest. But there are more that want to be that don't know what to do.
So
And
I would love to be a part of that, like informing husbands what to
yes.
expect. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
also how to take care of themselves in this, because you know we will
Hmm.
all try to prepare ourselves to be stronger, right? But
Hmm.
you can't say what you're going to be when this
When
diagnosis
you're in the
hits the
thick of
family.
it, when you're in the thick of it.
You have to commit to it. You have to
Yeah.
commit to it because it's not easy to sit there and watch someone suffer like that.
Oh my gosh, no,
It's
it
just
isn't.
it's a
And
terrible thing, and again to feel helpless in it. So for what I could do, I made sure to overdo.
well,
Right?
that is wonderful. So yeah, well, we'll definitely talk about the Brothers Helping Sisters because it's a wonderful initiative and it's an important conversation that we just need. And it's like I said, especially with our young women being diagnosed younger and younger, we got to
Mhm.
get these young black men who just it just doesn't resonate potentially with them, that they've got to stay. They've got the beauty of staying, and that makes your marriage stronger. It makes your partnership stronger to know that you've gone through the good part and the bad part. Unfortunately, sometimes it takes that through life, and it's supposed to be a partnership. And like you said, when you sign that document, you meant it.
Oh,
You
without
know?
question, without question. And I stand on business when it comes to this woman, right?
Yeah.
Like I've always wanted to be the man that she believed that I would become in this world, right? Because I'm not who
Hmm.
I was 30 years ago, by sure.
Hmm.
But the further we got through life and the more that we went through together as a couple, it was obvious that the best version of life for either one of us was together.
Right. And you evolve as a couple. You know.
Absolutely, absolutely. Our grandchildren are watching. Hey, Zoe, they're watching us right now. My daughter-in-law is watching. I see so many friends,
And
and coworkers, and different people in here, and they were
and
some of
then
these were some of the most important people in our life because they were the ones that a lot of people had to keep me lifted up because I went through a
you
lot.
have your days where you just,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
and
Because
that
it
you don't
hurts
want to
to watch her
necessarily show
suffer.
her, you know, you
It
don't want to.
hurts to watch her suffer. But I
Absolutely.
didn't want her to ever see that.
Hmm.
I
I hear
didn't.
you on
I
that.
wasn't necessarily hiding it, but I knew that it wasn't going to do any good. Right, letting her
Right.
see me go through all of this stuff. I wanted her to always see a symbol of strength when she looked at it.
But you, like you said, you managing that stress level for yourself as you navigate trying to be strong for her. But you have those moments where you look at her and you just go, "Damn, this is a
I,
lot."
I, I couldn't imagine how well she was dealing with it, right? Like this is not an easy thing for someone to come to terms with. But we're grandparents and we're parents, and she wants to be here. Our first grandchild, our oldest grandchild, is about to graduate this year.
Oh wow.
She's
Okay.
going to her first prom. She's getting ready to graduate. These are things that we want to be here for, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And our youngest grandchild, Zoe, who's talking now, she's not graduating for another 14 years or so, right? So, and there's going to be other things. There's going to
That
be
come
other
up.
things that
Yeah.
come up,
Mm-hmm.
during the course of this marriage. But we're committed to stand together regardless of what it is we have to face. It's imperative that our children see us fight, our grandchildren see us fight, our family members
Right.
see us fight, our friends, you know what I'm saying? Everyone close to us has to believe that we will get through this. Because
Right.
they got to keep us lifted up too. There's days where it's rough for Queenie and it's rough for me.
Right. Right.
But we're committed. We're committed to each other. And it's not just in marriage, right? But in direction. Like we're committed to moving this family in the right direction. We're committed to being who we need to be as grandparents, parents, friends, cousins, brothers, sisters, all of that kind of thing. We want to be who we need to be for people and I'm absolutely positive that we didn't go through this for anything. Like I think the
Mm.
true nature of us having to do this, one is to inspire other people to commit to it and not give up and to know that they can come to us, God forbid, if they have to go through something like this.
Right.
I want to have a wealth of information to tell husbands, boyfriends, partners, whatever it may be, what their role is going to be, and that it's not going to be easy. And so we've got to constantly, as a family, keep each other lifted up. We've got to constantly be ready for whatever happens. Every day isn't good. Like today's an
Right.
allergy day, right? Today's
Hmm.
her big thing was allergies. And in the realm of situations,
That's
allergies are
very
easy.
small.
You know what I'm saying? We can get some Claritin or some Allegra and we can get through that, right?
Right. Right.
But there's other days where there's some heavy medication that she has to take that really,
Right.
runs her through the ringer. I'll be very honest. And she never complained about it. Well, used to. You know, I, I apologize. But I think everybody knows what I mean.
Yeah.
We're committed to this thing. We're on the other side of everything that we feared. And I tell that to everyone. Everything that you want on this life and everything you want out of life is right on the other side of everything you're scared of.
Mm.
So you
Mm.
can't circumvent it, you can't get around it. There was no shortcut on this. We had to walk through
True
this.
is. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Every
so
step
I
of the
definitely
way.
say
Every
that
step of the way. Well.
absolutely. I
Well.
mean, God, so many shots. I don't know anyone that's more scared of a needle than this woman. And the number of
Yeah.
shots, the number of IVs, the number of blood draws,
Oh
all
yeah.
of these things they were traumatic
Oh
to
yeah.
people.
Because
You
you have
know,
to get it every time before you have your chemo to make sure your numbers are right. And if it's too low, you can't be. You can. It's
Thank
a whole
God,
process.
it's never.
and then there's a particular injection that she had to get, and then I think we have what two more
To July.
till July, and it's
Mm.
one every week, but it's
Right.
literally
Every 21 days.
every 21 days. Well, you can talk if you want to talk. But yeah.
Fees go. It's
So
called fees go.
and it's a
Okay.
shot that has
Okay.
about, I'd say, what, 6 to 8 ounces in it, but it's
Mm.
so strong and it's so powerful that you can only put like half an ounce every minute
Oh
It
wow.
takes 8 minutes.
to
So
get through those.
they have to do it like a slow
Yeah.
injection.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Rotate thighs every
Every-
21 days.
Oh
And the
wow.
needle's about that long.
And
Ooh.
if you misplace the lidocaine, you are in for it
Oh, okay.
because
Yeah,
we
that
have
that
to. Yeah,
lidocaine that lidocaine is your friend.
absolutely, because
Very close.
there's no way she'd have gotten through all of that without having the lidocaine. And then there would be days where she realized she might have put it a little to the left or a little to the
Mm.
right, and
Mm-hmm.
so she's not going to get the full benefit of it.
Mm.
She still sat there and took it like a champ, and just the idea of it. And there was a lot of times where I used to be like, "Do not look, don't look," right? Like, This phone is killing.
Uh-oh. Did I lose him?
So,
Okay, there he is. That's
you
okay.
know, there's a lot of this is mental,
Yeah.
right? To be very honest, a lot of this is mental, and you have to not only believe in a higher power, you have to believe in the team that you have in front of you, and you got to believe in yourself. You know,
For
there's a
sure.
lot of things that she had to go through, and it took a lot of self belief to for her to commit to doing some of those things because needles and shots and all of that. That's just a whole different beast to
Right.
deal with. But I'm so proud of her because things that I know any other day or time, she would have been looking for ways around it and ways out of it. But
She
she
But
knew.
she
remember
knew,
that
but she
appeal
knew she had to
form.
fight. You knew you
Oh
had
no,
to
she
fight.
she wanted everything in the pill form. She wanted no IVs and no shots. But some of this medication, unfortunately, this is the best way, the
Best way,
quickest way, and the proper
absolutely.
way to get it done. And if it was what needed to be done for her to survive through this, as rough as it was for her,
She did. She was going to do what she had to do.
she did. I tell people Queenie's my hero because
Oh,
I've never seen someone fight evil in this way. Because cancer is a very dark and evil disease,
absolutely.
and it
It
takes a
is.
very strong level of commitment. I don't think people realize how many people just they give up.
Yeah, because they're just
But
tired. They're just tired. It's just too much. It's drained them too much. It's the like you said, the fatigue, the body aches, the nausea,
the neuropathy,
the neuropathy. It's a lot, and so
but
yeah,
she did
you
it.
know.
She did everything that was required of her. She
Well,
did.
Queenie, if there's anything that we can ever do for you, just, sister to sister, if you ever want to just talk with my mother directly, as a survivor and 4 times, she's always loves to talk to folks. You'll meet her at the walk for sure. She's a little bit of a spitfire, but she's out there, she's has made some unpopular comments about Black women and breast cancer, but because she believes that we deserve the best that we can have. And so, for example, when we pay for the mammograms for women, 2Ds are available, but 3D is the latest and greatest. We will only partner with facilities that have 3D, that will give 3D mammograms. Those are the only ones we'll pay for because she feels like if that's the best and that's going to give you the best views, and that's all I want for myself, and that's all she wants for me or my daughters, then why wouldn't I want it for the women that we're serving? And so, we're always going to go to the highest level to make sure that the women have the best access and make it as seamless for them as possible because we know they're already battling so much or they're scared, with potential diagnosis and going through the testing that we try not to make the paperwork too labor intensive. We have to get our data, because of funders, but we try not to bog them down too much because we already know people are going through a lot. And we're just trying to make sure that we just help where we can and make a difference. And so, again, I thank you guys. I look forward to seeing you, Queenie, at the walk. I don't know if you're coming, Bun, but if you're more than welcome. We'd love to see you there.
What, what part of this conversation has told you I'm not going to be with this woman? I don't know. I don't know where. Look, I look. Can I do the whole 5K? Maybe not, but I'll have some
No, that's
warm.
all
I'm
right.
going to be there.
It's only 3.1 miles, but you don't have to do it all. You know, it's
And I,
about it's
I,
about
I
being
I
there.
think I'll do better making sure you guys have burgers ready because I to be very honest, I have medical issues that I'm dealing with right now,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. Well, just
But
being there,
none of
just
that.
being there, encouraging the brothers who are there to support their women. That's what it's about. Everybody plays a role. But Queenie, we want you to come out there. We want to celebrate you, have some fun. Do the line dances. I'm not that great at them. I'm gonna be honest with
Oh,
you.
I don't
But
know.
Now that part, I'm gonna have to walk her through that kind of a thing. Now
well,
don't get
you
me
have to
wrong,
walk me
Queenie
through it
can
too because I'm
dance.
not the best.
Queenie can dance, but
Okay, I can
I
dance.
saw
I can't
somebody
line dance either. What is going on?
I saw somebody say earlier about brain fog, and that's a real thing,
Oh
and
yes, it
some of these
is.
things are not the easiest type of things to get through. Like
To navigate. Yeah.
if she needs her
Hmm.
time or whatever, I would much rather her do it on self care than dancing, right?
Yeah.
And
No, I
I'm
hear
learning
you.
them, so I got some steps I can represent for us. I got it. See, some things I have to do the heavy lifting for both of us, and at the
Sure.
other side. some days she has to do the heavy lifting for us. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
It's a
But
partnership. It's a
but it
partnership.
whatever it's going to be is going to get figured out between the two of us, and we're going to
Right.
walk through it together, hand in hand.
Well,
That's
I'm so honored to, make your acquaintance, and Queenie, I'm very, very excited to meet you personally.
Thank you.
Because like I said, we've had just a few short conversations, but the ones that we have, I was just telling my team, I said, she's just such a calm spirit. Like every time I've talked to her, she's just very calm and, yeah, let's do that. Hey, I'm like, okay, girl. So,
Mhm.
advocacy was a big part of this for her. She really, I think she's breaking up a little, but advocacy was one of the things that she absolutely wanted to do. And you can see now in this conversation, her public speaking is good. She can speak publicly, which it's not something she's confident in, right? But for this, she was like,
mhm.
I've got to speak. I've got to be present. I've got to talk to other women. I've got to send them hope, you know what I'm saying? And let them look at me and my journey. That's why we tried to be as transparent about this as possible, because we know there's a level of influence that we have in this
Oh,
world.
absolutely.
And if we can influence
Yeah,
people
and
to
using
be
your platform.
yes,
Hmm.
if we can, import on people how important it is to get checkups. You know what I'm saying? We as men, we can't wait till we're 40 or 50, and neither can women, right? Because we see the ages of these diagnoses coming down, and they're getting lower and lower and lower.
Lower,
You know,
exactly. It's frightening. It's frightening.
it really is. And I know that that's not an easy thing to walk into a hospital and check for, because you never know what's going to come back, right? You never
Right,
know what's going to be said. And so many people feel like they can't do it and they don't know if they're strong enough for it. You are strong enough. And
right.
there is a system, and it's the Sisters Network. And God bless you, because your
Thank
mother
you.
for starting this, and you by picking up the baton. You're doing God's work.
Thank you.
There's no other
Thank
way to
you.
frame it. You're really doing God's work. And
Well,
God
I
will
thank you
see
for
you through this.
recognizing that, because back in '93, when she was diagnosed, if you were a black woman and needed a prosthesis, you couldn't get a brown one. They were only white.
Mhm.
And so she found a void in the lack of sisterhood and conversation directed to our community specifically. And she moved here. I'm from Los Angeles, but she moved here because I was living here. And she said, I want to start this organization. I was like, okay, mom, I'll give you a logo and all that. And she started talking about, I have a national organization. I said, girl, you in Houston, you are not national. But she had a vision. And that vision has lasted for 31 years. And she's, like I said, a 32-year survivor. And the women that she has touched, I'm very deeply proud of the work that she's done, because it has raised the level of awareness and the support that we've given women across the country for so many years, and 31 years to stay at it and be viable, and in the black is not easy.
No, no,
um
no. And God bless her for seeing that void and
yeah,
working to fill that void. Because again, I can't make this racial, because people of all races helped us, right?
yeah, everybody.
But
Mhm.
But to get properly diagnosed, right, from your primary care physician, I honestly believe that having someone the same race of you gives them a dog in the race. I really
Oh, for
do.
sure.
I
I
agree
agree
with
with you.
that.
I agree with you. It's a different level of care and communication. And so you
But
guys
that
have
being
done all the right things,
but that being said, everyone she put us in front of that was not the same color as us had the
took
same
good care of
care
you.
for us.
Hmm.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely. So
No, but she
I
drove that
wouldn't.
care for you. So that was wonderful that she
Yeah, and
directed
I
you to the
wouldn't
right people.
automatically say, don't take a white physician's
No, I
information or
understand.
diagnosis.
Yeah.
Of course, but at the same time, it's a lot easier if your PCP understands you
Hmm.
clearly and can put you with the people who will care.
Right.
Because so many times, so many of us end up in front of people who honestly don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're just another name on a piece of paper. You know what I'm
And we
saying?
have to know when when that's happening. You feel it, you know it, and you got to know that you got to move away from it.
Yeah.
Too many of
Mhm.
us stay in it just because either we're scared or it's the right, whatever the reason rationale is. We have to know, and we try to empower the women to understand you can go to someone else. If you don't feel comfortable, call us. We will help you identify another doctor if you don't feel that you're getting the treatment, or some of the answers that you need. We'll try to direct you to someone else to look into your case, because a lot of the young women are being, the gaslighting is real. You're too
Yes.
young. You don't have a family history. Oh, it's not what you thought.
Look at it.
Let's
Well, wait.
wait. We had a young woman who, they told her, let's wait another 6 months. It had been already 6 months they had waited. When she came to us, it had been a year, and we said, "What are you waiting for?" No, you need an ultrasound. There's nothing to wait for. And so we ended up navigating her to get what she needed. Unfortunately, it was a diagnosis, and it was more advanced. And
Mm,
probably it could have been not as advanced had she gone when it was initially found. But because she didn't have a family history, because she was young, all those things, they just said, let's wait, that kind of thing. And so she kind of went with it until she finally felt like this is not right. So that happens more often than we like, unfortunately. And so we just, again, trying to hammer it in everybody's head. You have a right to go to somebody else if you don't feel in your gut you're getting the care or the answers that you need. If you have any inkling of suspicion or uncertainty, you need to go to the next person just to make sure that what you're hearing is absolutely correct, and that you know that you've done the best for yourself.
Always, and someone's making a great statement. Always get a second opinion if you're not comfortable with your doctor, and that's even if your doctor looks like you.
It don't matter who it is.
Right?
Yeah,
It does not matter if you don't feel this person has the right intentions for you and is not giving you the best advice or the best information and is taking, honestly, taking chances with your life that you can't afford to take.
right.
You absolutely have the right to go and search for, take another consultation, take another visit with a doctor until you see someone that when you look at them and you talk to them and listen to them, you realize that they just want to save lives.
Well,
and I had
amen
no
on that.
signs. I
I'm
had no
sorry.
signs. I had no signs. It
Mm.
was just my yearly checkup.
And then they found it. Yeah, and that, I mean, that can happen. I'm glad that you were up on your checkups. I mean, that's the most important thing. You were,
Well, we're very on top of
up on
that type of
those
stuff because we want to be here for each other and we want to be here for this family.
for the family.
And
Yeah,
just that diagnosis threw us for a
And no family history.
and no
yeah.
family history. Yeah, wow.
And I took the genetic test, and it's not even in my family.
Not even in your family. So there's never. Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason. It just
Never know.
happens. So I just want everybody to come out and support,
Come see
you, the
us.
walk, and BBKC is KCB, excuse me,
Black
BBKCB is the
Beauty
name of,
Kids Council
yeah.
Back.
And so they can put those initials into the search engine for the teams, and
Yes.
join your team and support you guys. The walk is April 18th at Tom Bass Park, and it'll be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to seeing everybody. We, have, I don't know if you ever watched Love and Marriage Huntsville, but there's a survivor named Kimmy Scott. She's on that reality show. She's going to be here. She's real popular. She has TNBC.
Amazing.
Yeah, so with a lot of fun. Just a good day of community, and that's and us supporting each other. So at the end
Absolutely.
of the day, that's all we want is everybody to come away, celebrating, honoring, and increased awareness, and then to take action.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
if you go on my Instagram page, you go in my bio, you'll see the link to gosignup.com. Make sure you sign up under BBKCB. The password is mother01. So you have all the information that you need to join up and join us.
Yeah.
And walk for whoever you feel you've seen suffer, people that you've lost. We've lost people, but one thing that I can say that didn't give us any doubt about this is just being very honest and transparent. We've seen God perform miracles. We've literally seen it.
Amen.
We've
Amen.
seen it. So, and I knew my wife had built up a life of faith so strong that her Savior would not leave her behind. I was absolutely certain of that.
Well, amen on that. And I think that's the best note to leave on. I appreciate both of you all. And I look forward to meeting you both in person in a week or so. And again, we're going to have a good time and look forward to
Great
meeting
time.
your. I can't wait to meet your village because this village is strong. I got to see them in person.
Oh, they're all in the comments. Jagging ain't bragging. That's family, right? There's a lot of family. Your favorite Houston realtor, that's family. It's our daughter-in-law. She's got a huge village, and it's growing every day as she shares her journey.
Right. Well, thank you again, Queenie, for being so sharing and using your platform along with your husband, but most importantly for you being able to, being so sharing, transparent, because you don't have to do it, and we do appreciate that so
Thank
much.
you.
So y'all have a good evening, and we will see you very soon. Thank
Thank
you.
you guys so much.
Okay.
God bless you all. And thank you to everybody out there that we didn't meet and that we didn't see, but was praying for us. We appreciate it. Those prayers were heard, and God did what he was supposed to do, which we knew he would do. And
Hmm.
so we know there's a lot of prayer warriors out there putting in work on their knees with their hands together. And we thank them all. We thank them all. So please
Absolutely.
come out and join us at Tom Pass Park on the 18th. We'd love to see you.
All right. We'll see you soon. Thank you, Bun. Thank you, Miss Queenie. Bye bye.
Thank you.
No
Bye.
problem. Have a great